Hey, what's going on, guys? Juan Cristales here, man, and we are in 2025 having a little bit of a challenge when it comes to interest rates. If you're a landlord out there looking for new rental property, it's become a little bit challenging for the simple reason that you have one door, one rent, everything's inside of that thing, and if you can't buy that property cheap enough, it makes it difficult to cash flow it. The reason I'm liking building new construction ground up duplexes is because you have two rents and we have a built-in equity. Depending on where you're building and how you're building it and your level of experience, you could potentially build up to six figures of equity into one duplex. I'm telling you, we're building for $100 a square foot in Texas right now, and it's actually pretty fantastic. Now check this out. One of the things here I was just taking a picture of. This is one of the properties that we're doing. We're doing two side-by-side properties right now. This is going to be the Runnels Street one. So that when I refer to them, if you have no basis of how to do anything new construction, you've never built anything before, stick here because this is exactly where we're going to go through the very beginning stages all the way to the very, very end. I'm going to do daily, if I can do daily updates on all this stuff on a regular basis to kind of get you guys to understand and see how the whole process works. One of the reasons I do that is because whenever I first started, no one wanted to teach me how to do this stuff. It was really frustrating. I just had to hit myself in the teeth trying to just learn things on my own. So now check this out here. Right now, what I'm looking at here is a riser. This is a riser for a gas fixture that I've already asked the gas company to get rid of it, and they haven't come out there yet. We do have some clean water there, which is kind of fantastic for the purposes of what we're going to be using it. Now, one of the first things that we have to do when we're marking out a particular lot is just take the site plan. Let me show you what the site plan looks like. Okay, so as you can see here on the right hand side, this is going to be for the 106 Runnels property, the one that I was just showing you right now where the guys were measuring with the tape, okay? And this is all we're doing. This is not perfect science. Anyone with just a know how to measure things kind of like mentality can do this. It's not complicated. So what we're trying to do right now is because we're just starting, we're going to do a pad, a filled dirt pad. We want to know approximately where that filled dirt pad is going to go. It's going to be approximately going to go something like this, okay? And I'm drawing it with this thing here because it's approximate. There's no real science to this portion of it just yet because we want to get an idea of where the structure is going to sit. Now, you see some measurements here. So this is the site plan. The site plan, basically what it does is just shows you where the structure is going to be going in, reference to where the lot is. So we have these dotted lines here. This is going to be a 5-foot building setback. We can't build inside of that. And then we have a 25-foot building setback in the front. So we can't build in that. But you can put a driveway, of course, and all that other stuff. But the structure itself has to be behind the 25 foot. Okay, so that's what the purpose of that is. So what we do is we have the corner here that you can clearly see. We put a stake there with a nail to kind of just get it just as close as we can. And then we just run a string all the way back. And we run a string here as well to kind of get an idea of where we are. We have a fence and we also have a neighbor over here. So that makes it a little bit challenging because we can't just go over to their property, right? And so basically what we're looking to do is take these measurements. This is 25.75. So that means it's going to be 9 inches, okay? 9 divided by 12 is 0.75. So that's, understand that there's like a little bit of a difference there. So what we want to do is from here to here, we want to do 25 feet, 9 inches. From the front, we want to do 25 and then 25. This is just shy of the 0.9 inches. And so I am out there right now with the guy who's going to be doing the fill dirt. He's going to create the fill dirt pad on which the foundation is actually going to inevitably sit on, okay? So I'm going to go through a couple of properties here. This is the 106 here, lot 26, and then lot 27 is going to be the 104 Runnels property. So that's what we're doing right now is just measuring that out yet. Let me show you here. Okay, so here we are back at the property. We've got this first corner right there. Okay, so it's slightly easier if I just do this side by side. Okay, so here's what I'm looking at. This little corner here is this one here is that, I'm sorry, that's not it. That's going to be this corner here. It's going to be this corner right here, okay? And the reason why I've done this is because I want to get an idea of how far the filled dirt pad is going to go. So from here to here, and now we are measuring this distance here, which is going to be about 64 and a half feet. Now, where do we get that 64 and a half feet from? It's going to be from the plan. So let me show you where the plans are here, so that way we can see it. You see how this is, that's going to be 63.1, but on this other side, you see how it says 64 and a half feet? Let me zoom out so you guys all can see what I'm looking at here. This is the actual structure itself with all the dimensions. So basically what we're looking at is that if we're 25 feet here at the very front, this dimension here is going to be the master one, because this one's a little bit, this is measuring just here to here, and we're losing a little bit of space there. So we're going to take the longer one. So it's 64 and a half feet by 39 and a half feet right there on the very back end. Let me show you. 39 and a half, 64 and 5 inches. So that's what we're trying to do right now, is go from this corner straight back. Essentially, we're going to be right here. And we're taking our measurements straight back. Okay, I'm back over at the site plan. And so basically what I'm looking at right now here is, I don't know if you can barely see the string. There's a string right there that I've already put out. You can barely see it right there. And so basically what we did is we measured this 25 feet, 9 inches up to this nail right here. And so from there, we're at 25, right? 25.75, which is what this measurement says right here. And then we're going to go back the same distance that we need. And then we measured, obviously, from the front 25 feet as well. So again, we're running a line straight down the front of the property. So we have an exact measurement of what 25 feet is going to be from the front of the property boundary line. So we're going to go exactly 25 feet on both sides. I know that this one says 27.67, but we're not trying to get that accurate for it, because we're creating a filled dirt pad. We're not creating the actual structure on which it's going to go. The foundation guys are going to do that. They're going to be a lot more accurate in their measurements of that stuff. But for the purposes of what we're trying to accomplish, it's not that big of a deal. Okay, so now we're at the other property right next door to it. This is going to be the 104 Runnels property. We are making some serious headway here. We have the forms already in. As you can see, the guys that are going to be doing the plumbing ground are already on site. They were on site this morning, essentially digging in where all the wastewater is going to be going. So that's the purpose of that. Okay, so let me show you a quick video of what this looks like here. We are just going from the very back of the property down towards the very front. Okay, so I'm trying to show you, figure out a way to show you guys this stuff and what it looks like. But essentially what we're looking at here is we're looking at this back left-hand corner. You see that there? So basically this is going to be the tub, wastewater, and the vent. That's why this pipe is going up there. And then this bigger one, the 4-inch one, is going to be for the toilet. And then that'll be the vent for that. And then you can see over here on the left-hand side will be for the sink. That'll be the vent for the sink. Now, so everything is kind of vented that way. And so basically what's happening here is that this pipe is running. It looks like it's running in this direction, and then it starts going down this way. So let me show you a little bit more as we move along. We hit the other bathroom, which is going to be this one here. That's all this bathroom here. We have the tub, the toilet, which is going to be this 4-inch one. This 4-inch pipe. It looks like the guy actually came in this way. Okay. And then basically that's why the toilet's coming up this way. And then the tub here, and then the vent that goes up to the attic, which is this part here. There's the toilet right there. And then, of course, you have the sink, which is going to be this one here, the wastewater for the sink. Cool. And then we keep moving down south, and then we have that one pipe right there. That's going to be for the wastewater for the washing machine. So you see the laundry room right here. And then we're just going to keep going down towards the back. And then we have the actual sink. So as we go through, you can see here the laundry room comes through, and then it cuts off and goes towards the sink down this way. That's what this one is going to be there for. And then we come all the way out to the very front of the property line here, where this is at. And as you can see here, we have double, these are the cleanouts. So the cleanouts are actually pretty cool because this is one of the things that we have to do for code now is that, in the event that something gets stuck down this direction, you have this U-shaped method of accessing any wastewater stoppages that you may need to deal with. The city requires these to be 4 inches. One of the things that we do for the inspection, this is something that the plumber already knows to do anyways, so you don't really need to know how to do this stuff, is that they will fill all of these pipes up with water and they leave it on there for days. And so what happens is that at some point the inspector will go out and they'll go check and see, make sure that there's no water anywhere, and that the level of the water that's filled in that front pipe is still the same, because then that way they know that all of the pipes, none of the pipes underneath the house are going to be leaking. Now, I've done a lot of fix and flips, guys, and I'm telling you that one of the biggest reasons why fix and flips, the foundation fails, typically is has to do with water seeping into the foundation. So if you have a lot of water that's just kind of sitting underneath the house, the extreme weight of the house will cause the foundation to just break at that point because it's just so moist. All right, guys, I made this video long enough. Thanks so much for watching. We are just talking about plumbing ground at this point, and I will talk to you soon.